Alright, let's start our reading 5 reading tips for IELTS, and welcome you all on YouTube channel and of Unacademy, and this is your 5 reading tips of IELTS, and this is your representative Uday Shankar from Unacademy. So before we start, don't forget to like the channel, subscribe to it, and share this video as much as possible. So let me check first, but if we are getting it on for some other process. Alright, just hold on for a moment so that I can check if all my mics and visuals and audio are all good. Alright, so today's class is a very interesting class about 5 reading tips for IELTS. Yes, this is for IELTS, and this deals with the 5 reading tips, quick reading tips for IELTS, which you can get ahead. Okay? And this is totally on a speed lane, so don't miss this class, and you will be out of a very beneficial part when you will truly complete that. So let's start this class with some basic things, with some very basic things that we can deal with. First thing is why grammar. These are not tips I'm giving it to you, these are the quick lessons which I'm giving it to you. But before we start any kind of reading tips, I truly believe that each and every student should know about all these things, right? So what is grammar? First of all, grammar explains form. Grammar is the one which explains form. This is having its own form, and this is what the structurizes of your own thoughts and own mentality. Say for example, I have a glass of water. The water in the glass is all used to me unless I am going ahead and spilling it out. Not when it's spilled out of the glass, but unless it is with me in the glass. I can drink it, I can use it to wash my hands, I can drink it, I can use it to any other purposes, but unless it has a form. Once I use the form, it's totally vain. It's totally vain. So basically, the grammar gives you the form. And don't expect that if you write or read or do whatever with the language in your hand without the grammar, you can explore much. Don't expect that, because grammar is the key. Grammar is a very good structure. Grammar is the key point that you can do. And also it forms a structure of the word. Whatever the spine you can carry through, whatever the attachment you can give it to the word, you can all give through the grammar. Okay, and it also provides you syntax to the spoken and written language. It also provides you, because see, why syntax is important? Because if I am in India and I speak English in some form, I speak English in one format, but understand, if I want to communicate with any other person outside the country in the same language as English, how will I do so? What makes me a better speaker without syntax? Syntax means, for the user, for the students who doesn't understand the syntax means the policies, the rules and regulations which one should follow. Right? That's the exact meaning of syntax. If I have syntax, if I have certain regulations, certain process, certain stated, affirmed regulations which I need to follow every time I open my mouth and talk in English, that's where I get to go ahead in English with all other people around me. Right? So it provides you the syntax to be spoken for the written language. Now, we have spelling also in hand. What's important of spelling? Before we do anything in reading, do matter. Spellings do matter. Why? Because to avoid homonyms. And why to avoid homonyms? For what we have to avoid homonyms? First thing, we have to avoid homonyms because homonyms are similar sounding words with different meanings. Say for example, you made a spelling mistake like this. You have to write affect, but you did. This spelling is totally correct for effect, but here there is no use of it. You wanted to write affect. This spelling is right, but not in a contextual way. The meaning is correct. Right? Fine. Next part is what is principal and principle. That's also different. If PAL is different from PLE, that's also different. And these have to be correct to have a clear context. This have to be correct for you to have a clear context and to formulate the essence along the passage to make you understand what is right and what is wrong. Then going ahead, what are punctuations? What are punctuations? For some punctuations to attain and punctuations to grow, for some punctuations to attain and some punctuations to grow, you need to understand some basic criterions of punctuations, that why it is important and why it is so much need, so much underdeveloped. Why it is so? Because punctuations can vary your way of approach, way of context totally. Say for example, these two lines have same meaning, similar meaning. A woman without her man is nothing. The wording is the same. The written way, the written language, the written format, font, everything is same. But just by keeping and placing the commas here and there, just in that, you can change the meaning of those words completely. Now, how to do that? Just read the first line and just read the second line one after another. A woman without her man is nothing. Next part, a woman without her man is nothing. These two have different emotional pitch, different understanding, different way and different context. One can change like this, one can change a whole lot meaning together just by adjusting or just by moving the commas here and there. Going forward, let's move on to the tips of today's. Yes, these are the tips which is very important, and I'm going to give you 5 tips of reading which is very essential for your IELTS reading part. Number 1, the summarizing and sequencing skills. What you mean by summarizing and what you mean by sequencing skill? See, whenever I tell you to summarize the reading, what you mean by that? You only have to read and understand the summarizers. It means you have to understand it in your own words and you have to be able to deliver it to another person. Understand? By reading, your skill needs to be, you have to understand and summarize something and deliver it to your own words with a proper sequencing. Tip number 1, how to improve reading, how to help your IELTS reading, learn summarizing and sequencing. Learn to do it, and this tip is so useful that you can have a proper approach towards your questions. Summarize the questions and sequence it properly, therefore you can attend the both and balance it all together. Right? And number 2, which comes with comparing and contrasting. Comparing and contrasting is nothing but you need to have a proper approach towards the subject in a comparing mindset also and in a compare and contrasting mindset also. Right? So, what do you mean by comparing and contrasting? Yes, Pachu has a doubt. Just hold on a moment. Yes, Pachu. The sequencing means ordering, just in order. If you have, basically if you read a story, you have to start with some introduction, then you go to the body, then you slowly build up the pace of the story, then you conclude the story, okay, this is what happened at the end, to the hero, to the heroine, or what happened at the end to whom. This is the sequence. This is the sequence which we follow, right? And while reading, See, how to do this, how to do the summarization and sequencing in the reading is, once you understand what is the whole passage, once you understand what is the whole passage, try to tell it in your own words. To whom? To yourself. Try to tell that. Say for example, I read a story about a crow who was thirsty and he flew away long in search of water, but he couldn't find. He searched for some pebbles, dropped into the pot of water, the water came up, he drank and the thirst was gone. But the story is not like this. If you read the story, it was in more detail, more emotions, but I don't want all these things. I am summarizing that story to my understanding. That is the skill which you need to grow while reading the IELTS passage. And important part, in sequence, the order which the story happened. The crow didn't drink the water, then went in the search of pebbles, and then said that, oh, I am thirsty. Then it didn't happen like that. You have to follow the sequence also, one by one, in order to make you understand in an efficient way about the reading passage. Am I clear? Pachu, yes? What is sequencing? To place all your facts and figures in order, one by one by one. If you place one by one by one, yes, you are sequencing it. In one of the IELTS passages about global warming, how can I summarize about the topic? Say for example, see, if you have a topic which is very technical, as Pachu Yadav is asking, if you have a topic about a technical topic, as global warming or globalization or as any political topic or anything which is related to very technicalities of machine or something, still you can summarize it. Just understand the key points out of it. Just understand the key points out of it. And I'll tell you one classic example. This is not something new which you're doing. Right? This is not something which is new you're doing. This is very old technique which we are so well versed, and you will not believe it to me. Say for example, I'll put you in a situation where, imagine in the school days when your best friend is absent, right? And you had an important lecture in the school, important subject which is taught, important chapter, but your best friend is absent, and the next week you have your examinations, correct? And what happened is, your best friend now wants the class to be done. He didn't understand the topic by his own. Now he wants you to make him understand. Now tell me exactly what you will do. You will not repeat the same words told by the teacher. You will not. Will you be taking the class? Will you be making him learn the same thing as it is the teacher told you for like half an hour or 45 minutes? No. You will just take 10 minutes. Just pick out some important topics, mold it according to you and give it to him. Hey brother, this is the concept, this is how it is done. Right? So, in order to encourage this, in order to summarize this, you do it in a crisp, short and crisp way. And this we have done a lot of times in our schools. Yes or no? Yes, Pachu Yadav? Did we do it or not? Exactly, not exactly we used to do on what sir said in the class. Correct? But tell me one thing, do you leave anything apart? Do you leave any facts and figures anything in behind? You don't miss anything. You don't teach him in a wrong way. You don't teach him incorrectly. You teach your friend exactly the point, but not the same way the teacher taught you. Right? You mold it, you crisp it, you shorten it, you summarize it. This is the tip, this is the skill which you were doing for a very long time in the schools. And the same thing you have to implement while you're reading your IELTS question papers also. In a sequencing manner, in an order. Don't forget that. If you misplace the order, again your best friend will be confused. Right? So, in an order and summarize it. That's the first step. Second step is, as you asked Pachu Yadav, how we can use and compare and contrast in the reading. What is comparing and what is contrasting? Understand this, then automatically you can compare and contrast. First understand what you mean by comparing and contrasting, then automatically you can compare and contrast. What is comparing? Yes, Pachu? Any idea, any kind of definition you have in your mind, any kind of ideas you want to share? What is comparing? Comparing between two people, place, things, that's fine. See, I'll tell you one thing, in reading part, it is important to do the both, comparing and contrasting. How and what is first? This is, comparing means comparing the similarities. When you are reading the passage, you should understand what is similar between paragraph number 1 and paragraph number 2. That it is being told in the same passage. What is different? I'll repeat. Comparing the similarities. What is similar? What idea flows through paragraph 1 and 2? That paragraph 1 and paragraph 2 both are in the same passage. Right? These are not in different passage. I'm not picking up in the different stories. This is in the same story but in different paragraphs. But what is the common theme which is connecting to these paragraphs? That you have to compare and understand. That understanding you have to grow. Right? And what is contrasting is the comparing the dissimilarities. Comparing is comparing the similarities. Contrasting is comparing the dissimilarities. So what you mean by dissimilarity, what you mean by contrasting is, if two paragraphs are in the same reading passage but yet these two paragraphs are separated. What separates these two paragraphs, what uniqueness that one paragraph contains that another paragraph doesn't have, or what difference that this paragraph is making from this paragraph, that you have to understand. That when you understand, you are contrasting one paragraph towards another paragraph. But when you are understanding the similarities, that why this flow is connected in one paragraph, that is comparing. When you understand why this paragraph is dissimilar, why these are separate, you are contrasting. Understand? So these are the two tips today. Now quickly we will move on to the third tip, that is drawing conclusion. Even before you end the topic, even before you come to the ending of it, before there is an end, before there is the writer says, yes, I conclude this. Before anybody says you, this is my conclusion, this is my end of the topic, this is what I am done with. Before that, if you have your own conclusion inside your heart, inside your brain, that tip is very necessary to make you answer questions further. I'll tell you why, and I'll tell you did all these things in a day-to-day life and how. Basically, when you answer questions, when you read newspapers, you come across some political topic and political issue, right? Before you read the whole story, before you read the whole news, or before you watch the whole news on the TV, you have your own conclusions, you have your own opinions, correct? And that's good. Before even knowing that what opinion is written by any editor or written by any author or told by any news person, you should also develop a conclusive habit that yes, this is my opinion and taking to it forward. But how can I identify concluding statements in sentence? No, you don't need to identify that, Pachu. You need to develop a habit of concluding at the final part. If you read a story about global warming, before you read the final paragraph, you should have your own concluding nature of providing solutions, ideas, and yes, this is wrong or this is right, I agree to it, I disagree to it. You have to feel it from your side. Right? So whatever the writer has written, that is his conclusion. Whatever you think on your own to draw it from the passage which you have just read, it is your conclusion. And having your opinion in place is very important while answering the question. You will understand the whole passage in a better and efficient way if you start drawing conclusion by your own. Altogether you will read that passage, altogether you will read the conclusion which is given there. Finally, right? Summarization and drawing conclusion is two different. Summarization is, summarizing means I am telling you the story in my own words. Drawing conclusion means I am telling you the moral of the story. Right? I am telling you the moral of the story. Say for example, just an example, as I told you the crow story, right? I summarized it in my own words. If you read, what is the conclusion of this? The conclusion is, the crow drank the water and after that it always remembered to drink the water on time and wherever it found the water. This is the conclusion. Conclusion means the final end statement which gives you the final verdict about the passage. That is different, and summarizing is different. Right? But both the skills has to be in place, has to be intact for your own good. Okay. Quickly going towards the background knowledge. It is very, very important for you to have background knowledge, at least in an extent that you understand and relate what this topic is all about. Say for example, I don't even know, I never have ever read about global warming, but I have a reading passage which talks about global warming and I have to fill in the blanks every question. I cannot relate to this passage unless I will know what is global warming. But what is global warming may or may not be defined in that passage. That is not a mistake of IELTS. That is your homework to be done. You have to enroll, you have to achieve your background knowledge in a proper way so that you can attend more further topics. That's your part. Okay? Then lastly, you should have your own facts and opinions placed. Some small vocab, some small grammar, some very own phrases, these all facts and opinions should be in place with you. You cannot expect that IELTS passage will be telling you and teaching you everything and telling you everything on its way while it is writing a passage. So these are the 5 tips which you have to keep in mind, and these are the 5 tips which will be going to help you onto a betterment of the task on going further. Right? So these are a quick discussion which all happened, and see you soon on the next session on how to do on effectively 5 tips on speaking. Tomorrow 4:30 p.m. Don't forget to join the class, and also don't forget to hit the subscribe button on Unacademy channel and like this video and share this video. Together, let's crack it. So this is Uday Shankar signing off. We'll see you soon tomorrow at 4:30. Thank you so much and bye bye.